You don't become a pop star without having a big personality, and you can't have a big personality without putting some people off. These pop stars are loved by fans, but to the people who really know them, different story.
Here's a look at just some of the many celebs who can't stand Ariana Grande. Memes have been comparing Grande to Carey for years, so it's only fitting that Carey referenced another popular meme to subtly diss Grande. Back in the day, as you probably know, Carey dismissed rival Jennifer Lopez by simply saying, "I don't know her." Well, after that became one of the hottest memes of 2016, Carey went back to that well to similarly deny any knowledge of diva wannabe Ariana's existence.
Ariana Grande, do you know her?
No, I really don't. Honestly, I'm not familiar. I listen to hip-hop more than I listen to pop.
Of course, considering Carey sometimes doesn't even know when she's performing live, she might have just been telling the truth. It is perhaps one of the worst-kept secrets in Nickelodeon history that Grande and fellow Victorious co-star Victoria Justice were not huge fans of each other. The drama started in 2013 when Grande seemingly chucked Justice under the bus for alleged bullying on the set of Victorious. Grande then upped the stakes, seemingly blaming Justice for the show's cancellation, claiming, "The only reason Victorious ended is because one girl didn't want to do it. She chose to do a solo tour instead of a cast tour. If we had done a cast tour, Nickelodeon would have ordered another season of Victorious while Sam and Kat filmed simultaneously, but she chose otherwise." In a since-deleted tweet, Justice seemed to fire back at Grande, saying, "Some people would throw someone that they consider a friend under the bus just to make themselves look good. Hashtag stop being a phony, hashtag if they only knew." Since then, Justice has denied there's a feud at all, but the fact that Grande reunited with the Victorious cast for her 23rd birthday and didn't invite Justice suggests where there's smoke, there's still burning hatred. Justice should take solace in the fact that she's not the only co-star who's ended up in a public spat with Grande. This time, things kicked off because of a TMZ report alleging Grande was making more money than her Sam and Cat co-star Jennette McCurdy, even though they shared top billing. Grande denied the pay rumors on her Facebook page. "I am not making more money than my co-star, nor do I think I should be. So we can all move on and get out of our heads that this was a money thing, cause I don't play like that at all. I have always been, and always will be about equality and fairness." McCurdy's Twitter feed, though, hinted at a different story after she chose to opt out of Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards in 2014. "I was put in an uncomfortable, compromising, unfair situation. Many of you have guessed what it is, and I had to look out for me. I chose to not go because sticking up for what is right and what is fair is what my mom taught me is always the most important thing." Just days later, Sam and Kat went on hiatus, and by July 2014, the show had been nixed. To add insult to injury, following the show's cancellation, Grande shared a lengthy post expressing her love and gratitude for the short-lived show, but conveniently neglected to give a shout-out to co-star McCurdy. In August 2014, Big Sean and Grande were spotted holding hands backstage at the MTV Video Music Awards. After 8 whirlwind months, though, they reportedly ended the relationship quietly and amicably. Things weren't all rainbows and puppies, though. On Kanye West's song Champions, Big Sean apparently threw some shade at his ex, saying he was subtracting the negative energy. Still sounds pretty negative to us, dude. One of Grande's dumber celebrity feuds was with Giuliana Rancic, who went on an epic rant in 2014 about how Grande had acted like a total diva in an interview by demanding they switch seats so the camera could show off her good side. One problem, Rancic needed to sit there to show off her good side. She complained in a video that she had to fight 13 years to get this side to the camera. It's almost too sad to even think about. Legendary singer and actress Bette Midler has never been shy about sharing her opinion, and in a 2014 interview, she shared the opinion that Grande symbolizes pretty much everything wrong with both music and society at large, saying Grande's videos are symptomatic of the pornification of music. "It's terrible. It's always surprising to see someone like Ariana Grande with that silly high voice, a very wholesome voice, slithering around on a couch, looking so ridiculous. But it's not my business. I'm not her mother or her manager. Sex sells. Sex has always sold." Needless to say, Grande, who is very vocal about being in charge of her own sexuality, was not impressed. The pop star clapped back with a not-so-subtle tweet, which she later covered up with a photo of Midler. Bette was always a feminist who stood for women being able to do whatever the F they wanted without judgment. Not sure where that bet went. For her part, Midler pretty much just laughed it off. As the lead singer for The Cab, Alex DeLeon has only met Grande once, but apparently once was enough. He kept his dislike for the pop star short, not so sweet, and to the point in a tweet. "Hope none of my fans ever have the displeasure of meeting Ariana Grande. Most stuck-up, disrespectful person I've ever met in this industry. Wow, tell us how you really feel." After Grande's 2014 appearance on Saturday Night Live, which, of course, involved her infamous cat ears, Chrissy Teigen descended from her throne to bestow on us the following: "I love your cat ear headband. It alerts me to immediately hate you." The Big Bang Theory star Mayim Bialik was introduced to Grande through the singer's billboards, and, well, she wasn't impressed. Bialik wrote a blog post saying, "No idea who she is or what she does. Based on the billboard, she sells lingerie, or stiletto heels, or plastic surgery." Yikes! Even people who don't know who Grande is can't stand her.
Beyoncé may have millions of fans around the world, but she also has her fair share of haters. In 2012, talk show host Wendy Williams took issue with the way Beyoncé spoke during a preview for her HBO documentary, Life is But a Dream. She said, quote, "I'm going to be watching this documentary because fortunately one of the TVs in our kitchen has closed captioning, so I'll be able to understand what she says." The insults continued amid gasps from her audience. Quote, "You know Beyoncé can't talk. Beyoncé sounds like she has a 5th grade education. She can't talk." Williams continued to claim that she was a fan of Beyoncé, but yeah, it doesn't sound like much of a fan to us. Beyoncé earned arguably the best reviews of her movie career playing legendary singer Etta James in the 2008 flick Cadillac Records. She even attended the Los Angeles premiere of the movie with James, suggesting that the two of them were on good terms. Apparently, that wasn't the case. In fact, during a 2009 concert, James, who died in 2012, trashed Beyoncé, mainly singing for James' hit song At Last at President Barack Obama's 2009 inaugural ball. James also said to a stunned crowd, quote, "I can't stand Beyoncé. She has no business up there, singing up there on a big old President Day, gonna be singing my song that I've been singing forever." Singer Kid Rock got in big trouble with Beyoncé's fans after he trashed the singer's music in a 2015 interview with Rolling Stone. He said, quote, "How can you be that big without at least one Sweet Home Alabama or Old Time Rock and Roll?" Beyoncé's fans have responded by swarming Kid Rock's Instagram account with thousands upon thousands of bumblebee emoticons. The swarm eventually got so bad, Kid Rock was forced to retaliate by posting a picture of Insect Killer Raid. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani took major issue with Beyoncé's 2016 Super Bowl halftime performance, which drew reference from the Black Panthers, Malcolm X, and the Black Lives Matter movement. Giuliani told Fox and Friends the next day, quote, "This is football, not Hollywood. I thought it was really outrageous that she used it as a platform to attack police officers who are the people who protect her and protect us and keep us alive." Giuliani went on to argue that the Super Bowl is for middle America and that the NFL should be providing, quote, "decent wholesome entertainment to that audience and not political messages." Speaking of Beyoncé political figures in the Super Bowl, Donald Trump took a number of jabs at Beyoncé over her first performance at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2013. Appearing on The Howard Stern Show, the Donald completely dissed the performance, which had otherwise received rave reviews, calling it, quote, "ridiculous" and, quote, "inappropriate." He said, quote, "When Beyoncé was thrusting her hips forward in a very suggestive manner, if someone else would have done that, it would have been a national scandal."
From collaborators to exes to literally anyone who mentions her name, almost no one is safe from the wrath of the Queen. But not everybody takes it lying down. These are the celebs who can't stand Nicki Minaj. In December 2017, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj both appeared in the video for Migos' hit single, Motorsport, which subsequently led to boatloads of drama. In an interview with Capital Extra, Cardi B said Minaj altered her verse before the song's release.
When I heard the track,
Right.
her verse was in Finnish. Well, it's not the verse that is on right now.
Minaj responded to the claim in a Beats One interview, claiming that Cardi B and Kiari Offset Cephas, a member of Migos, simply weren't playing fair.
They'll allow people to run with the lie because it's entertaining to make Nicki seem like a bad guy, and it's sad.
It gets worse. In September 2018, Minaj and Cardi B got into a very public physical altercation at Harper's Bazaar annual Icons party. Cardi reportedly left the party missing a shoe and sporting a huge bump over her eye that was roughly the size of a golf ball. Shortly after the fight, Cardi took to Instagram to accuse Minaj of bad-mouthing her baby. "When you mention my child, all bets are off." Meanwhile, Minaj denied any wrongdoing on her Queen radio show.
I would never
talk about anyone's child or parenting. I don't care about anyone's parenting.
In a July 2015 tweet, Nicki Minaj took issue with the 2015 MTV Music Video Awards nomination for Video of the Year, writing, "If your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you will be nominated for Vid of the Year." Minaj was clearly alluding to the fact that the racy video for a hit single, Anaconda, hadn't been nominated. At the time, Taylor Swift was riding high on the success of her 1989 album, and she evidently took Minaj's comments as a diss. In a now-deleted tweet, Swift wrote, "I've done nothing but love and support you. It's unlike you to pit women against each other. Maybe one of the men took your slot." It didn't take long for Minaj to respond. "Huh? You must not be reading my tweets. Didn't say a word about you. I love you just as much, but you should speak on this." Talking to Good Morning America shortly after the back and forth, Minaj suggested the beef was squashed.
So she was, super, super sweet, and she apologized.
The ladies even teamed up for a duet at the awards ceremony to show solidarity with one another. But that solidarity didn't last too long, because Minaj later did a guest vocal on Swish Swish, Katy Perry's attempt at a diss track against Swift. And when Swift dropped Look What You Made Me Do in August 2017, Minaj tweeted a particular Kendrick Lamar lyric that read in part, "Sit down, be humble." Many fans perceived this as yet another dig at Swift. Miley Cyrus used to be a big Nicki Minaj fan. She even dressed up as the monster rapper for Halloween in 2012, and Minaj absolutely loved the costume, gushing to USA Today. "She is the best Nicki Minaj impersonator I've seen in my life. She's adorable." Unfortunately, this two-person mutual adoration society didn't last for long. After Minaj and Taylor Swift had their little Twitter scuffle, Cyrus gave her 2 cents to the New York Times, saying, "What I read sounded very Nicki Minaj, which, if you know Nicki Minaj, is not too kind. It's not very polite."
Every moment. Oh, excuse me. The music will cut me off if I can. Darling, may I express this to?
Sure, Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey collaborated on the underrated breakup song Up Out My Face in January 2010, but when they worked together again on American Idol in 2012, they were reportedly at each other's throats.
Let me get off the piano.
Nicki's mad. She's walking out.
That was my move. I was gonna do that the next time she
I was
ragged
gonna
on
walk
me.
out.
One backstage brawl allegedly involved Minaj berating Carey and threatening to, quote, knock her teeth out. Minaj reportedly also said, "If I had a gun, I would shoot her." Multiple sources confirmed the gun remark, including Mariah Carey, who told Barbara Walters,
"It felt like an unsafe work environment. Anytime anybody's reeling threats at somebody."
Carey said that Minaj's alleged outburst was, quote, not appropriate, especially since she was on the road with 2 babies.
"I'm not going to take any chances, so yeah, I did hire more security."
Minaj denied ever threatening Carey in a tweet, writing, "Let's just say Nicki said something about a gun. People will believe it because she's a black rapper." In a subsequent 2015 radio interview, Carey was asked if she'd ever come back to American Idol.
Hell no, absolutely not. That was the worst experience of my life.
Well, we can't imagine why that might be.
I want to lose 3 pounds.
I know how you can.
It's a quote from Mean Girls. If you knew Mean Girls, you would know.
I do know Mean Girl.
For decades, Lil Kim went by Queen B after her late boyfriend Biggie Smalls gave her the nickname. But Nicki Minaj later took the Queen moniker for herself, which didn't make Kim very happy. During a 2018 interview with Los Angeles radio station Real 92.3, Lil Kim said,
"I was named that. I never named myself that.
Yeah.
It's a difference. When the streets name you that,
Right.
Biggie named me that. I didn't name myself."
Lil Kim was asked what started her beef with Minaj in a 2012 interview with Power 105's The Breakfast Club.
I never had a problem with her. I was always nice with her. Always. She was a very obnoxious person, but I was always nice with her.
She went on to claim Minaj copied her sound, talked smack behind her back, and, quote, wanted to be the only female rapper in the game. The feud was still simmering in June 2018 when Kim told Entertainment Tonight she didn't know Minaj, all while praising Cardi B.
What do you make of Cardi B and Nicki Minaj?
You know, Cardi is my girl. I don't know the other one. Cardi is my girl, and so I'm so excited for my girl Cardi.
Finally, by August 2018, Kim sounded ready to let the beef die, telling Real 92.3,
God bless her. What she did. But you know what? God bless her. I wish her the best. I'm past that. I'm over it.
In a 2015 diss track called Lifeline, Nicki Minaj's ex Safaree Samuels claimed he ghost-wrote several of Minaj's lyrics on the Pink print. Then in 2018, he turned around and denied he'd ghost-written anything. This inspired Minaj to go off on him in an interview with Hot 97.
Now years later you want to come back and say, "Oh, by the way, I lied." Years later after you've tried to tarnish my image.
In response to that interview, Samuels tweeted, That looks like someone who either still cares or just holding onto a lot of hate towards someone. That's when all hell broke loose. Minaj accused Safaree of stealing from her, tweeting, "You stole my card and told me you thought it was an account with free money that I didn't know about." Then Safaree responded with a tweet accusing Minaj of stabbing him. "Remember the night you cut me and I almost died? The police and ambulance had to take me out the crib on a stretcher, and I had to lie and tell them I was trying to kill myself so they wouldn't take you to jail?" Minaj never actually denied cutting Samuels, opting instead to change the subject to hair restoration. When Travis Scott's album Astroworld dropped a week and 12 hours before Nicki Minaj's record Queen, it blocked her from having a #1 debut. Minaj was furious. She even pointed the finger at Scott's wife Kylie Jenner and their baby Stormy Webster for promoting the album, tweeting, "I put my blood, sweat and tears in writing a dope album only for Travis Scott to have Kylie Jenner post a tour pass telling people to come see her and Stormy." After all Minaj's ranting, TMZ reported that Scott and Jenner had their seats moved away from Minaj at the MTV Video Music Awards. In fact, video footage even reportedly showed Jenner pivoting away from Minaj on the red carpet. Awkward.
Mariah Carey is a polarizing figure. No one can deny her talent, but not everyone is a fan of her super diva persona. These stars all have beef with the self-proclaimed elusive chanteuse. Carey's allegedly controlling ex-husband, Tommy Mottola, was accused of sabotaging her after their divorce. On Jennifer Lopez's second album, J-Lo, her track I'm Real samples the classic disco song Firecracker by Yellow Magic Orchestra, a song which Carey had planned to sample for her song Loverboy, the lead single from her 2001 soundtrack to Glitter. Carey had to scrap it and use a different sample for the song, which ended up not being a hit. Carey was able to use the sample shadiness to get out of her Sony contract and away from the seemingly vindictive Mottola for good. But her relationship with J-Lo was forever strained by the incident. She later appeared on a foreign TV show, and when asked how she feels about Lopez, she replied, quote, "I don't know her," and immediately launched 1,000 memes.
I know you know what? I'm very forgetful.
Lopez has denied that the two had any conflict, even after being busted texting during Mariah's performance at the Billboard Music Awards. But Carey has stuck to her story that the two just aren't friends. Outspoken singer Demi Lovato didn't think twice about voicing her real opinion of Mariah Carey, even when no one actually asked her about it directly. In June 2016, a fan posted a meme of Carey alongside Ariana Grande that read, "When you order it online versus when it arrives," and Lovato commented, "You got it the wrong way around, honey. Mariah is a legend and so talented, but constantly disses people. It's nasty the way she treats Jennifer. Jen keeps it classy, but I'm not afraid to say it. The woman is mean for no reason." Carey didn't take kindly to the comments, offering her usual shade when her name came up.
I don't know her either, and so I wouldn't say anything to her. And she should come up, say, "Here's my opinion. What do you think about it?" That's how you handle.
After Carey rejected Eminem in the early 2000s, or just denied dating him depending on who you ask, he apparently got really upset. He started fairly diplomatically, telling Rolling Stone in 2002, quote, "I just don't like her as a person." Carey responded by shading him during her tour in 2003 with a marionette in his likeness. Then he got really mad, playing voicemails allegedly from Carey during his own tour in 2005. In 2006, he told Shade 45 that he and Carey dated for 6 or 7 months and claimed that her denial that anything happened between them bothered him. He then spoke of her in very vulgar terms on his 2006 song Jimmy Crack Corn, then again on Bagpipes from Baghdad in 2009. Carey retaliated with her Obsessed video the same year, and then he flipped out again, releasing another vulgar track, The Warning, in 2010. Ultimately, Carey got the last laugh, though.
Say 3 nice things about Eminem.
They come in a package that you can carry wherever you go.
When she attempted to shade the Shade Queen in 2006, Christina Aguilera met her match. Aguilera told GQ, quote, "One time, we were at a party and I think she got really drunk and she had just really derogatory things to say to me. But it was at that time that she had that breakdown, so she might have been very medicated." That didn't end well for Aguilera because Carey's subsequent shade pretty much owned her. She told Access Hollywood, quote, "I had hoped that Christina was in a better place now than the last time I saw her, when she showed up uninvited at one of my parties and displayed questionable behavior. It is sad yet predictable that she would use my name at this time to reinvent past incidents for her promotional gain. It is in my heart to forgive and I will keep her in my prayers."
Stop.
Miley Cyrus told Elle magazine, quote, I've never really been a fan because it's so much about Mariah Carey. That's part of her shtick. I can see through that. Miley caught immediate flack from all over for her words.
I mean, we all know that Mariah could sing you under the table.
As for Mariah, though, well, she just went back to her signature brand of diss and dismiss when the subject of the Hannah Montana star came up.
What about Miley Cyrus?
I think we met in a bathroom with, I don't know.
Madonna was once quoted back in the 1990s as saying Carey is not particularly bright and reportedly said she'd rather kill herself than be the One Sweet Day songbird. Carey responded with the same passive aggressiveness that has marked so many of her feuds so far.
I really haven't paid attention to Madonna since I was in like 7th or 8th grade and she used to be popular, so I didn't...
On her Sirius XM radio show, Jennette McCurdy went on the offensive after Carey's disastrous New Year's Rockin' Eve performance. At first, she started out sympathetic to Carey, but got defensive of Dick Clark Productions, which Carey's manager accused of sabotage after the performance.
Dick Clark Productions has been doing this show for 45 years. For her to defame them was so incredibly insulting.
McCarthy, who'd co-hosted the event for several years, said that Mariah simply didn't prepare for the performance with rehearsals and even declared that Carey's voice just, quote, is not there anymore for these type of live performances.
Jennifer Lopez seems to have just as much staying power as her diva reputation, and although much of the bad press comes from tabloid speculation, some of her celebrity cohorts might actually agree with those unflattering rumors. These celebs have had it up to here with Jenny from the block. Nicki Minaj and Lopez first exchanged jabs in 2012 on American Idol when Minaj performed and Lopez was a judge. After the rapper finished her set, she asked, "I was hoping maybe I could come back and be a guest judge. J-Lo, can you scoot over a little bit?" Things got even icier when Lopez quipped back, "I don't know if there's enough room for both of us."
And I was like, meh.
Fast forward to 2015 and things between the two didn't seem to be any better. When Lopez opened the American Music Awards with a medley of songs that included an excerpt from Nicki Minaj's Anaconda, Minaj looked like she wasn't having it. But when a fan tweeted the clip and proclaimed, "Damn, J-Lo, Nicki Minaj's facial expression says it all," Minaj fired back, saying, "LOL, says what all? I'm looking at my own face on the screen when I'm looking to the right. I turn back and look at her."
I want to say, but it would be so real that I can't.
Almost as soon as Lopez shared a snap of herself chilling with Drake backstage at her Vegas show in 2016, rumors flew that the two were dating. And Lopez sure didn't help matters when she then posted a pic of the rapper giving her a cozy bear hug.
You know, it's one of those things that it's a maybe one day, maybe not.
While some didn't believe the hype, Drake's sometimes love interest Rihanna sure seemed to take the posts to heart. An unnamed insider told In Touch she felt like she had suffered what she called the ultimate betrayal, calling Lopez, quote, desperate. Although Rihanna never publicly addressed the issue, she threw some major shade when in 2016 she unfollowed Lopez on Instagram. Despite both being Puerto Rican American dancers who grew up in New York, according to Rosie Perez's 2014 memoir, Handbook for an Unpredictable Life, the ladies sure don't get along. Perez recalled their time working on In Living Color, saying, "All of the girls were coming into my office complaining how Lopez was manipulating wardrobe, makeup, and me, all to her advantage."
I'll never tell. I'll never tell.
Although Lopez left the show after just 2 seasons, Perez accused the star of keeping their feud alive long after they parted ways. Once when they crossed paths in a Hollywood club, Perez wrote, "Lopez came over to me smiling, saying hello as if nothing had happened. I should have let it go, played it off too. Instead, I killed her with my biting tongue."
Well, we don't see each other, and that's okay too. We're two grown adults that have moved on.
Lopez and Jenna Dewan seemed to get along just fine when they both appeared on NBC's World of Dance. The two dancers never showed any signs of animosity on camera, but according to OK Magazine, the vibe was very different behind the scenes.
It's a battle. We gotta bring it. You can't half bring it to a battle.
A source told the outlet, Jenna can't stand Jen's over-the-top theatrical fakery. Jen never fails to ham it up when the cameras are rolling, and she hijacks the show. Every situation, even off-camera, is micromanaged by J-Lo, and Jenna feels very excluded. But But the alleged feud may need to be taken with a big grain of salt. Gossip Cop reportedly reached out to a show producer as well as DeLeon's rep and was told that the reports of a beef were absolutely not true.
Where are you going, Snacks? Anybody?
Demi Lovato is all about that honesty. But the problem with Lovato's signature candor is that while it has earned her millions of devoted fans, it's also made her quite a few high-profile enemies along the way. These are the stars who aren't picking up what Lovato's putting down. Lovato has had an on-again, off-again beef with Taylor Swift since 2010. She shaded the Bad Blood singer numerous times, most famously in February 2016 when she slammed Swift's $250,000 donation to Kesha. Lovato tweeted, "Not everyone has $250K to just give to people. I'm just tired of seeing women use women empowerment and feminism to further brands without actually being the ones that have the uncomfortable conversations." By November 2016, Lovato was still salty about Swift, telling Glamour, "I think that having a song and a video about tearing Katy Perry down, that's not women's empowerment." As for Swift, she's reportedly not a fan. A source close to Swift told E! News, Swift thought it was unnecessary for Lovato to make those comments. They both have never been really good friends. Lovato and Nicki Minaj were both Moschino designer Jeremy Scott's guests at the 2016 Met Gala. But when Minaj posted a pic with Lovato and Scott but only tagged Scott, Lovato then lashed out, posting, "When you aren't mentioned in a post but didn't do shit to the person." In 2018, Lovato told Billboard of the 2016 gala, "This one celebrity was a complete and was miserable to be around. I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink. I changed my clothes, but I still had my diamonds on, millions of dollars of diamonds at an AA meeting." Lovato, who identifies as sexually fluid, briefly beefed with openly bisexual singer Halsey. In June 2017, Halsey told Paper magazine, "I don't like that bisexuality is seen as a taboo. Don't tell your mom," or "we shouldn't do this," or "this feels so wrong but it's so right." Many rightfully interpreted it as a reference to Lovato's hit 2015 song Cool for the Summer, in which she sings about lusting after another girl and includes the lyric "Don't tell your mother." Lovato responded, "You know a song is a hit when people are still talking about the lyrics 2 years later." Halsey then tweeted and deleted a series of missives directed at Lovato, including one that read, "Thanks for the text back that everything is good and you know what I meant, but keep letting the press drag me in your benefit." The pair seem to have since buried the hatchet by the end of July 2017. Lovato beefed with fellow Disney darling Zendaya way back in 2013. M Magazine reported that Lovato criticized Disney for airing an eating disorder joke in an episode of Zendaya's then show on the network, Shake It Up. She tweeted, "Is it just me or the actresses getting thinner and thinner? I miss the days of Raven and Lizzie McGuire. Dear Disney Channel, eating disorders are not something to joke about." Zendaya didn't comment, but her father tweeted, "Demi Lovato, my daughter looks up to you and admires you greatly. What Disney said is one thing, but when you commented on her body type, you did exactly what they did." Lovato then apologized, but it wasn't the first time she slighted Zendaya to promote her own idea of body positivity. In 2015, when Zendaya was honored with her very own Barbie doll, instead of congratulating her, Lovato tweeted, "Hey Barbie, what about a curvy doll or one with true to size measurements?" Our model, Barbie has since launched a body positive line, but so far, none of them have a thing for Twitter rants. Perez Hilton lashed out at Lovato in a July 2016 Twitter spree, writing, "I'm nice to the people I feel deserve me being nice to. I'm done being fake with Demi Lovato." He then posted screen caps of a conversation in which Lovato told him to quit liking mean tweets about her beef with Mariah Carey. In response, Hilton called her a hypocrite for liking mean tweets about Taylor Swift. Hilton was later seen at one of Lovato's March 2018 concerts, and the singer later tweeted of the show, "The other night I got to sing Sorry Not Sorry directly to one of the USA's most notorious bullies. It felt so great." Hilton responded with a petty video calling Lovato a bully and moaning.
Demi Lovato has a lot of issues. She's not Taylor Swift. She's not Selena Gomez. It must not be easy for her.
Kathy Griffin's beef with Lovato seemed to begin in 2014 when she tweeted that Demi Lovato was the biggest douche celebrity she'd ever met. Lovato then tweeted and deleted a selfie she'd taken while making a grossed out face with Griffin in the background, writing, "Only a douche to people I can't stand." 3 years later, when Griffin came under fire for a controversial Trump-themed photo shoot, Lovato had the last laugh at the comedian's expense. After Griffin's sobbing press conference about the pictorial, Lovato tweeted, "I find it funny when bullies play the victim. Oops, I spilled my tea."
Lady Gaga has millions of little monsters around the world, but celebrities on this list probably aren't in the ranks. Here are stars who can't stand Mother Monster. Lady Gaga was accused of copying the Queen of Pop for much of her career, but Madonna never actually commented on it until a 2020 interview in January 2012. When asked specifically about Gaga's song Born This Way, which is often compared to Madonna's Express Yourself, Madonna decided to reveal how she really felt, tea and all.
It feels reductive.
Is that good?
Look it up.
Madonna kept quiet until February 2015 when she sassed to Rolling Stone, "The only time I ever criticized Lady Gaga was when I felt like she blatantly ripped off one of my songs. It was just that one issue. And everybody's obviously run with it and turned it into a huge feud, which I think is really boring. I don't care anymore." Lady Gaga and Christina Aguilera get along beautifully now and even collaborated on a remix of Gaga's song Do What You Want, but they had a pretty vicious history thanks to their respective teams. Aguilera seemed to start the beef, telling the Los Angeles Times in November 2008, "This person, Lady Gaga, was just brought to my attention not too long ago. I'm not quite sure who this person is, to be honest. I don't know if it is a man or a woman. I just wasn't sure." Rude. A month later, Gaga reportedly responded to Aguilera's comments by saying, "Well, it was very flattering when it happened. A lot of people in America didn't know who I was until that whole thing happened. It really put me on the map in a way." Well, that's one way to look at it. In the beginning of Gaga's career, Perez Hilton was one of her biggest champions, but the celebrity blogger changed his tune a few years later, telling an Australian TV show in June 2014 that the catalyst was a 2011 interview gone awry. Hilton claimed a question he asked Gaga about her then-boyfriend set the songstress off, saying,
And the fact that I even brought up that she had a boyfriend made her livid, and she stormed off the set and stopped the interview.
Gaga's interpretation was pretty different, though the timeline matched up in terms of the ill-fated 2011 interview. The Born This Way singer told Howard Stern in a November 2013 interview, "He started asking me really terrible questions, and he was being very negative about Born This Way, and we had a lot to drink. He was supposed to be my friend, and I felt betrayed, so I started crying. He's just mad that I don't want to hang out anymore because I don't want to be around fake people." Lady Gaga was slated to collaborate with rapper Azealia Banks on a track called Red Flame for Art Pop, but the song was never officially released and didn't make the album. Banks then accused Gaga of stealing the track, even though Mother Monster never actually released it. The Chasing Time rapper also went as far to accuse Gaga of copying mermaid aesthetics from her and alleged that the title of her third studio album, Art Pop, was stolen from her own self-proclaimed genre name, Witch Hop. Gaga never responded directly to Banks, but did tell fans in 2013 she has a bad attitude. Not to be outdone, Banks mocked Gaga for supporting Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. In June 2010, Lady Gaga caused a stir when she sat in Jerry Seinfeld's box at a New York Mets game wearing only a bra, cheeky shorts, and raised her middle finger at the crowd. Unsurprisingly, Seinfeld wasn't at all impressed with Gaga's antics. The funny man later said, "I'm not one of these all publicity is good people. I don't understand how this is good for her, but I'm sure she understands her milieu better than I ever could." The comedian continued by lamenting stardom and publicity in the 21st century, saying, "I don't know what these young people think or how they promote their careers. Wake me when it's over. Get an act. Rhinestone bikinis and giving people the finger. She is talented. I don't know why she's doing this stuff." Lady Gaga has used her platform to open up about her experience with sexual assault in an effort to encourage and inspire fellow survivors, even though it hasn't always been easy for her to do so.
I suffer from PTSD. I've never told anyone that before, so here we are.
However, in December 2016, Piers Morgan took to Twitter to attack Lady Gaga's claims that she suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of her experience. The host tweeted, "Lady Gaga and Madonna have both made allegations of rape many years after the event. No police complaint, no charges, no court case. I fear sexual assault has become the latest celebrity accessory. I wouldn't automatically believe anything either Madonna or Lady Gaga claimed about their lives." Gaga replied, "If anyone in your family suffers from PTSD, I pray they have more good days than bad. It has affected me and my whole family. I would also love to talk to you about PTSD. It's not just a military disorder. There is a mental health youth epidemic." Morgan responded, claiming that because he comes from a big military family, he gets angry when he feels a celebrity is using PTSD to promote themselves. The pair then agreed to have a sit-down interview, to which Morgan said, "I'll press my meat suit." Gaga clapped back, "If you continue to shame me in the process of kindly agreeing to interview with you, I'll happily do the interview with someone else." Of course, the interview has yet to happen as of the making of this video,